breaking news. Effective 1st August 2023, Amaze card link transactions in foreign currency will earn 0.5 Instapoints, which is 0.5% rebate per $1 spent. And this news was first spread on my Telegram group. So if you want the latest news, you can join my Telegram group at HoneyMoneySG at over 8,000 members. But you see, here is the thing, right? Everyone has been talking about how poor the Amaze foreign exchange rates have been. And now, coming with this Instapoints nerf, will it still make sense to use the Amaze card from now onwards? Now, the good news is that there is no change to the Instapoints earning rate on the Amaze wallet. So it's quite obvious they're trying to push the Amaze wallet whereby you can still get 1% Instapoints back, and at the same time the exchange rate will be much more favorable than the card link payment itself. So to summarize, from 1st August 2023 onwards, if you spend 100 Singapore dollars equivalent in foreign currency, you will only get 0.5% Instapoints back, which is 50 Instapoints instead of the 100 Instapoints previously. But you will still get 100 Instapoints, which is 1% if you just spend it on the Amaze wallet. Now, this will also mean that your maximum eligible transaction spend will be increased from $500 previously to $1,000 now, because previously 500 SGD equivalent worth of spend will net you 500 Instapoints in foreign currency, right? Now, since the earn rate has been halved, in order to earn 500 Instapoints on card link payments with Amaze, you can now spend up to 1,000 Singapore dollars equivalent. 50% is a very huge nerf. So let's discuss in this video whether Instarem Amaze is still a good card to use on foreign currency transactions. And to be super clear, this new nerf does not impact Amaze with local spend at all, because if you remember, local spend linked with Amaze card link payments do not even earn any Instapoints at all. So there's really no impact if you want to use Amaze as a local spend card. For example, my very popular video on the single credit card strategy, whereby I link my Citi Rewards Mastercard with Instarem Amaze, now I could convert all spend to online spend, and that will in turn earn 10x reward points with the Citi Rewards card and equivalent to 4 miles per $1 spent. So for those of you who are using the Amaze card link for local payments, which is linked to your Mastercards like Citi Rewards, Citi Cashback, Maybank Family and Friends, or even UOB Ladies, all these Mastercards, then there is no impact to you. The main nerf will only apply to those who are using Instarem Amaze on foreign currency spend. And I'll talk more about the greater impacts after a word from the sponsor. Here is the brand new offer for Weibo this month, and it's eligible for both new and existing customers. For new users, you have to fund $300 on your first deposit and execute one trade so you can buy one cheap stock. And glad to know that Weibo is offering free commission on your first 6 months, so you don't have to pay a fee on that. And with this requirement fulfilled, you will win 6 to 40 shares of Tesla, Apple, Microsoft or Google shares. On top of that, if you execute 3 options trade, you will win 8 options trading vouchers, which is worth 10 to $100 each. And for options pricing, Weibo is charging 55 cents per contract, excluding any regulatory fees. And you know what? Even existing customers of Weibo can win something as well, because if you execute one options trade, you will also win 1 options trading voucher worth 10 to $100 each. So use my referral link down below or scan the QR code right here to get your Weibo account today. Firstly, let's talk about utilizing Instapoints, because you know that in order to redeem your Instapoints for cash, the minimum redemption is 2,000 points. And previously, if you want to redeem 2,000 points, all you need to do is spend $2,000 at 1% Instapoints cashback. Now that the Instapoints earn rate has been halved to 0.5%, it means you now have to spend a minimum of $4,000 in order to earn 2,000 Instapoints and redeem it as cash to your Amaze wallet. Also, you have to remember that Instapoints will expire 12 months after it is credited, so it has a 12 months shelf life. So you must ask yourself, are you able to spend $4,000 in foreign currency within 12 months so that your Instapoints will not be wasted and gone into expiry? For those of you who travel very often in foreign currency, or you make a lot of foreign currency purchases, $4,000 a year is not a problem. In fact, if you just budget 1,000 Singapore dollars per trip, in just 4 trips alone, you can definitely clock more than 4,000 Singapore dollars worth of foreign currency spent. So this kind of spending requirements is really up to your own personal level. But the second point is the more important one, which is the main feature of Amaze. And I know a lot of you are frustrated about Instarem Amaze changes, because Ever since the start of the year, I think they have been nerfing the rewards and also the foreign currency spread. But don't forget that one of the main features is to convert any transaction spent into online transactions, and that will be eligible for credit card rewards like the Citi Rewards Mastercards, which gives you 10x Citi points that can be converted to 4 miles per dollar. And the second main feature of Amaze is to reduce the markup, where banks are already charging you 3.25% for foreign currency fee. Now, Amaze is going to lower that to around 2 to 2.5%, so that is still quite a significant amount of savings, especially if we look at just Malaysian ringgit. As of the recording date, the exchange rate between Singapore dollars to Malaysian ringgit was 3.47. So after a 2.5% markup, you can expect the Amaze rate of Singapore dollars to Malaysian ringgit to be around 3.38. Then that will lead me to my third point, which is comparing Instarem Amaze to YouTrip and Trust. Does it still win the competition? Because I know a lot of you always make noise about Amaze poor FX rates, but I always say that Amaze is superior, right? So is it still superior after this nerf? A quick run through about YouTrip and Trust. So YouTrip will charge a 0.3% markup from the spot rate, which means that the Singapore dollars to Malaysian ringgit will be around 3.46. And if you're looking at the net benefit, there is no benefit for using YouTrip. There is only a cost, which is a 0.3% markup. So it's a negative 0.3% net. Next, let's look at Trust, which has been gaining traction, and Trust also gives a 0.3% markup on the spot rate. So similar to YouTrip, the exchange rate of Singapore dollars to Malaysian ringgit will be 3.46. But the good thing about Trust is that Trust gives you 0.22% link points on non-FPG spend. So that's a little benefit for you. So if we were to take 0.3% minus 0.22%, the net benefit of using Trust will be negative 0.08%, slightly better than YouTrip, right? So moving on to Amaze. Amaze charges a markup of 2.5%, which means at a Singapore to Malaysian ringgit, you will only get 3.38 versus a spot rate of 3.47. And because you will reward 0.5% Instapoints, your net benefit will be negative 2.5% at 0.5%, which makes a net benefit of negative 2%, which is the highest out of these three, right? And that's where some of you stop at this argument, because you will say that negative 2% compared to YouTrip, negative 0.3%, or Trust, negative 0.08% is a no-brainer. Amaze is such an inferior product. Why are you so stupid to use Amaze? And that is okay. If you're really basic, you're a simple person, you don't want to use any credit card strategies, just stick to YouTrip and Trust, because that is where your level will stand. But if you want to be more advanced, you want to be more knowledgeable, and you want to learn why are all these other people still using Amaze, then I'll bring you to the next level, because you have to remember, the card linked to Amaze payment will still be eligible for its own credit card rewards. For example, Citi Rewards will still earn that 10x points of 4 miles per dollar. If you're using a similar miles valuation like me, which is 1.25 cents per mile, a 4 miles per dollar will be equivalent to a 5% cashback. So if you want to calculate the net benefit after credit card rewards, I'll add 5% to that negative 2%, which means a net benefit of 3% positive. And to those of you who argue on the point that you cannot value miles at 1.25 cents, okay, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to use an 8% cashback card. And now if you take that 8% cashback minus 2.5% markup plus 0.5% Instapoints, you'll get a 6% net positive. So regardless what you use, Amaze card link will still be superior. But what if you are really complaining of the FX rates? Then you have to remember, Amaze also have the Amaze wallet, which has a different set of foreign exchange rates compared to the Amaze card link payment. So Amaze wallet will have a 0.3% markup, but at the same time, it gives you 1% back in Instapoints. Therefore, the net benefit will be negative 0.3 at the 1% Instapoints, which makes you 0.7% positive. So you see, both of these Amaze card link payments and Amaze wallet are positive, whereas your YouTrip and Trust are both net negative. And if I were to link the 4 foreign currency payment methods, here is the list. Ranking on the top will still be Amaze linked with Citi Rewards, which will give you positive 3%. And then secondly will be Amaze wallet, which gives you positive 0.7%. Ranking number 3 will be Trust, which gives you negative 0.08%. And lastly will be YouTrip, which gives the overall negative 0.3%. So for those of you who still have opinions on Instarem Amaze is still very bad compared to YouTrip and Trust, I welcome you to comment below what further arguments you still have. But most importantly, don't need to argue, just use what you like. If you're basic and you like to use YouTrip and Trust, go use YouTrip and trust. If you're more advanced and you want more expert spending, then you go and choose Amaze. Okay, just be happy on what you like, don't need to attack other people. But if you want a more concrete evidence on why I still think Amaze is superior, I tested out with real transactions among these few cards, and then I'll show them in this experiment in the previous video right here.